wants to resurrect in your life. Jesus did not resurrect before the removal of the stone. Martha again was the protester. Jesus reminds Martha to believe and see. He had already told her that he is the resurrection and the life. Just moments ago, Martha had expressed belief in Jesus and his word. Jesus told Martha, then at that time your brother will rise again. But church, is so important for us to see the sequence of what Jesus said. He said, believe and see. Believe and see. Say that one again. Believe and see. Believe and see. Believe and see. He didn't say see and believe. He said believe and see. Believe first, see second. You remember later on in this gospel, Thomas was not there when Jesus showed up. Thomas said, I won't believe unless I see. Thomas said, I didn't see him. Y'all saw him. I need to see him for myself. I don't believe what he said. I don't believe what y'all said. I was with him for 3.5 years, but I know he said he was going to die and raise again, but I still don't believe it, and I don't believe the 11 of y'all got any sense either. So he says, I got to see it, then I'll believe it. And he says, Jesus shows up just for him. He says, put your finger in the print of my nails in my hand. Thrust your hand in my side. Don't be unbelieving, but be believing. He said, oh Lord, I believe. Jesus said, you believe because you have seen, but blessed are those who believe and have not seen. Jesus calls us to believe and then see. When we believe the Lord, we will ultimately see his glory. Jesus says a prayer in the text to the Father. And he does this for the sake of those who are standing by. All right. Jesus cried out with a loud voice, Lazarus, come forth. Jesus calls him by name. It's been said many times before that it's good that he calls Lazarus by name, because if he had just said, come forth, everybody would have came forth. He called him by name. The man was physically dead. The decaying process was already started. By this time, he stinketh. His major organs were no longer functioning. His muscles and neurons were no longer firing. His cellular and metabolic activity had ceased. His eyes could no longer see. His mouth could no longer speak. His ears could no longer hear. His hands could no longer contract. His legs could no longer walk. His feet could no longer stand. His kidneys could no longer filter. His liver could no longer metabolize. His heart could no longer beat. His lungs could no longer inhale and exhale. His stomach could no longer digest. He was dead. He was dead, and not only dead, he was decaying. But Jesus says with a loud voice, Lazarus, come forth. And when Jesus called him, he had to come. And just like he called Lazarus, Jesus calls us.